And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, how are you this morning?
A little tired.
Yeah.
Stayed up late watching our teams last night. And,
Right.
kind of disappointing results on both fronts. Obviously, I'm not going to take much exception to the Avs, who continue to find ways to get points in every single start, although I would have liked to have seen them win that game. And then I thought the Nuggets, 5 up with 2 minutes left is nothing in the NBA. I mean, I'm not saying that, but it sure would have been nice to see them close a little bit. And, Steph Curry happens, and 33 feet away from the rim happens, but it's Steph Curry. I mean, if there's one guy that you got to cover from 33 feet, that's probably him, right? So, but anyway, there are plenty of good signs and plenty of basketball left, and good to get it going, I guess.
All right, for months now, we've been telling you about a great promotion going on in Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk. Well, the date is finally here. They are giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or $25,000 in cash the weekend of October 24th, which is this weekend. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players, they can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their player cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, really loose slots, great promotions, outstanding food, a family-owned casino that treats you like family. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Gordon was offered a game ball for his historic 50-point performance in which he had a career high with 50, a Nuggets franchise record in his season opener with that 50, did his damage with 10 three-pointers. But Steph Curry, incredible down the stretch, 33 points in the second half, including 13 consecutive points to close out the fourth quarter to force overtime, started the overtime period with 4 points right off the hop. Warriors win. Give me some initial observations from game one.
I thought Nikola Jokic was kind of meh, even with a triple-double. And
crazy, isn't it?
And I hate to say that, but that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah,
a little bit. Had a chance to hit a shot to win it late, and just was kind of middle of the road the entire game. Still affecting the game because that's who Nikola Jokic is. But I thought that was a takeaway. Not much from Cam Johnson or really Christian Brown.
No.
From an offensive production standpoint. I thought that their defense on Steph Curry, I know he's Steph Curry, but I thought that their defense in the second half against Steph Curry left something to be desired. And I did think that their non-Jokic moments were encouraging.
Yes.
I will say that. And you and I have talked, this has been our theme really from jump with the moves that they've made in the offseason. This is a much better bench. It's much better depth. I think that they proved that to a degree last night. Need to see it more, consistently now as the season wears on. But I'm hoping that that's not going to be as much of an issue this year. So those would be kind of my fire from the hip thoughts.
If coffee is for closers, championships are for closers.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to close out games.
Yes.
They looked terrific in the second quarter. I mean, they got off to a slow start. Let's face it, the Warriors had a jump start because they had already played a game. So to be down 10-0 to start the game, and then bang, like a rocket ship, they take a huge lead. Aaron Gordon obviously leading the way. Jamal Murray looking very good early on. And then towards the end, Jamal Murray was meh. I mean, but what I find interesting is if SGA had a triple-double, it would lead SportsCenter. and that's where we are at now.
Yeah, right.
With Nikola Jokic. I refer to it as, in the show notes, just a ho-hum triple-double.
Right.
But it's not like he dominated.
No.
We're judging him by Jokic's standards, and then there's everybody else. I mean, think about the great centers in NBA history. If any center got a triple-double, it would be cause for celebration.
No.
For him, it didn't look like he dominated out there. Honestly, I'm certainly not blaming him for this loss. I will put it on something that has been a bugaboo for the Nuggets since they won a championship. Their perimeter defense, quoting my wife, was absolute shite. They gave up. The Warriors shot 48% from three in the second half. Steph Curry was a big reason why. You knew that the Warriors were a small team, and they feast on shooting three-pointers, and they just didn't guard the perimeter. Christian Brown, perimeter defender, where was he? Cam Johnson, perimeter defender, where was he? When it comes to perimeter defense, I'm not going to really put it on Jamal Murray. That's not his thing. Jokic, that's not really his thing. Bruce Brown played a nice game.
Yeah.
But other than that, certainly a disappointing loss. I know it's only one game, obviously. But getting back to Murray, had a double-double, 25 points, 10 assists. Box score looked good. Late in the game, I wasn't crazy about the way that he played. He was dancing with the dribble way too much at times, burning shot clock, and then suddenly they're not getting off a good shot. But overall, how encouraged are you that Murray, who's traditionally a slow starter, got off to a pretty good start?
Yeah, your point is good. He did pound the rock way too much late, but okay. I want to be careful about making a lot of observations over the course of one night.
Bruce, it's a snapshot of today. This is our job. We are allowed to do this, and I don't want to get anything from freezing cold takes from Twitter. This is what we saw last night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
not saying it's going to continue for the rest of the season.
I thought he was really good until down the stretch, which is where you want your best players to be really good. But I don't think that he was bad. I mean, and to your point, he was actually pretty good, and he looked good. He just looks like he's in better shape to me.
Yeah.
He just does. He looks healthier. He looks better suited for what is going to be the long run and the grind of the NBA. By all accounts, maybe some of that is colored a little bit by some of the accounts of coaches and people that were around him this summer, that it was a great summer for him and all of these things. And I guess we got to see that. There needs to be, proof of that. But I thought he was good last night. I really did. I wish he could have been. I wish both he and Jokic could have been a little stronger in the stretch, in crunch time. And they didn't get it from those two guys like they normally do. So that probably really was the difference in the game.
I think we kind of glossed over this too quickly as we got into other things. Aaron Gordon looks like the guy Orlando thought it drafted many, many years ago. When he came out of Arizona, I think he was the number 4 overall pick.
Yeah.
They wanted a great offensive player. That's not what they got. They got a really, really good defensive player whose offensive skills were, for lack of a better phrase, limited. This guy's career offensively is starting to go on a rocket ship into orbit. And I'm not saying this because of one game, but how many times have you watched a Nuggets game and Aaron Gordon has the ball in his hands beyond the stripe and you're thinking, please don't? As opposed to last night when the Nuggets had the ball to win the game in regulation. You know what I'm thinking? Something I'd never thought before.
Sure.
Give the ball to Aaron Gordon, not Jokic, not Murray.
Yeah, he was good. The way that he became a shooter and thus a potential scorer last year. I mean, he had obviously the work that he had done on his shot was evident right from Jump Street. I thought it was interesting. Best remark of the night for me was Charles Barkley. I think it was at halftime. saying, this is what an NBA player in this day and age needs to look like, and he was talking, and I was like, and Charles always has something. It may be a chuckle, it may be a guffaw, it may be, something that you really got to think about. And that remark was, like, to me, right on target. Aaron Gordon he's the kind of guy you want to have, a guy that can create a mismatch. He can go all over the floor. He can shoot anywhere on the floor. He's a defensive player that can stop just about any position this side of point guard, but he can guard pretty much 4 positions on the floor. And it was good to hear somebody like Charles Barkley, who I have immense respect for as a student of the game, to say that, because I agree with that. Aaron Gordon, to me, is a guy that you talk about, a guy that has been good anyway from jump with the Nuggets, but who has continued to evolve to the point where he's amongst the discussion of being your most valuable player. Now, you've got Jokic, so that discussion will never last long, but you get my point, I hope. This is a guy that makes huge differences in winning basketball games. And last night was a great example. And I knew damn good and well that he wasn't going to take a game ball. That's not what this guy's all about. This guy's about getting wins and winning games.
Think about this for a second, Bruce. How many guys have you ever covered that play basketball that would turn down a game ball after having a historic night?
You're right.
50 points, 10 3-pointers. Very few guys would turn that down.
You're right.
I used to say at times about Carmelo Anthony, he'd rather have 50 in a loss than 20 in a win. Aaron Gordon is the complete opposite cat. You might, and this might sound like hyperbole, he is the perfect teammate.
Right.
Perfect. He is a 10. And if you want to go Spinal Tap, he goes to 11. He
on
does
the 10-point scale.
He does everything that is necessary to help his team. He is the ultimate chameleon. And now, later on in his career, he just added another weapon to his arsenal, which is a 3-point shot.
Yeah. The ability, I mean, he really was a huge difference maker in that game. When the Nuggets were looking at their absolute best, the best that the Nuggets had was Aaron Gordon. Seriously, when they were playing at their absolute tops, second quarter, various points in ebb and flow in the second half, it was because Aaron Gordon was playing at an exceptionally high level, which should be very good for this team as they move forward. Look, nothing that happened last night, I think, changes anything you and I have been saying and hoping for this basketball team. Yes, it would have been nice to have gotten off to a winning start, but I'm not going to worry about that right now.
Right.
I like what I'm seeing. Their depth was solid. You need to get a little more from a couple of guys that I think that you'll be counting on as the season progresses. Last night, Cam Johnson, Christian Brown. But I like the pieces. They're in place. Your point about perimeter defense is an issue. It was an issue all last year. Obviously, the Warriors are a little bit of a different creature. Although what they're going to do, they're going to rain threes on you. What I mean? That's what they're going to do. So really, it's incumbent upon you to have a game plan defensively that you can help to at least take some of that away. But they were hitting shots last night too. You give credit where it's due, and you always have to tip your hat to Steph Curry. I mean, Steph Curry just is Father Time doesn't steal anything from Steph Curry. He's quite remarkable.
Okay, I'm going to read you a list of guys. Well, I don't know if I need to go through the list, but just for fun, I'll go through a list.
Okay, sure. Why
Okay,
not?
Here's some names that are grouped with Aaron Gordon, and I'm going to go back in time a little bit. All right, little bit. Donovan Mitchell, Glenn Robinson, Zach LaVine, John Wall, Blake Griffith, Dwight Howard, Nate Robinson, Fred Jones, Michael Jordan, Jason Richardson, Kobe Bryant, yada, yada, yada. You know what all those guys have in common?
What?
NBA dunk champions.
Ah, is that right?
How many NBA dunk champions just put up or ever put up a 10 for 11 shooting spree from beyond three? That's how this guy's game has evolved.
Yeah.
He was a jump out of the gym guy early on in his career. So was Blake Griffith.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?
Right.
Could Blake Griffith hit threes?
That wasn't his game, man.
Right. And
Right.
that's how the game has evolved. And that's my point.
Yeah.
And good for him, for Aaron Gordon. With that, Valanciunas. Let's get into him. Let's get into the bench. The non-Jokic minutes, those guys played relatively well.
I thought so.
And looking at the bench, Valanciunas scores 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in 12 minutes. This type of production, I mean, this is going to be like a slow burn to me. You may not see it game by game, but it's kind of like chopping at a tree. You're not going to knock it down with one swing of the axe, but as the season goes along, outside of playing an overtime game, I get it with Jokic. His minutes in his rest, I think, will go down in terms of the minutes. The rest will go up. And I think by the end of the season, we are hoping, because of Valanciunas, we will see a fresher Jokic in the playoffs.
Yes, without question. He's an absolutely key, maybe the key component coming off the bench. I think Hardaway's going to get a lot of minutes.
You know what? I got to tell you something about Tim Hardaway junior
Mm-hmm.
I was fucking having Will Barton flashbacks.
Very interesting.
I'm just
Very
like, please,
interesting. Now that's not a good
every
feeling.
every time you touch the ball, you gotta shoot it.
I think he's.
We knew he was like that anyway.
Yes, you did know that he was like that. You knew what you were getting. I'll be interested to see what his minutes look like.
How do you like Julian Strother not getting off the bench?
I guess last night it didn't surprise me because the bench didn't play as many minutes as I think they will as we start getting going. It was opening night. You ran some starters with extended minutes probably last night. But your point's a good one. Hey, they are 9 deep right now, right?
Yeah.
And Julian Strother happens to be the 10th guy, right? The 10th or the 11th guy. You got to do something. This is a team that is made to win now. And if you can't help them win now, I don't see how you're going to get minutes. I really don't. And so Julian Strother will get minutes. He will be a guy I don't know if he's going to be a guy, but he will be a guy that is used very he'll be used in fits and starts. I mean, you might see him, play 8 or 9 minutes one night, and then you don't see him for a couple games, and then maybe he plays 11 or 12 minutes a night, something like that. But I just, I think that you've got to be a guy that can help this team win. Period.
Michael Malone, by the way, was part of the pregame show.
Yeah.
Last night, he's going to be there all season, and he just summed it up beautifully. And it's really hard to argue with him. He's like, "We won a championship, and then we decided to go with the youth movement." You can understand why he was pissed off.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
And I understand Calvin Booth's thinking we have to find a way as these guys get older to find young guys. But the truth is, if you're really trying to be fair about it and trying to be pragmatic about it, Malone was 100% right. Do you think Malone would love this lineup today?
Absolutely, right? Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't like this lineup right now?
No, I'm talking about the bench.
I know, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the lineup. When I say the lineup, I mean the roster that you have to use. I mean, of course you like pieces and pieces that you can trust. proven pieces in the NBA. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's too bad that Michael Malone and Calvin Booth couldn't have been on the same page with Josh Kroenke officiating, and that they could have worked it out, because they did get to a point, and you bring up what Michael Malone said last night. They got to a point where they had very divergent, different ways of thinking about how they needed to move forward.
Well, you know what, though, Bruce? The ultimate tiebreaker is Josh Kroenke.
Of course.
Josh Kroenke gave Calvin Booth his blessing.
Yeah, he did.
Let's call it like it is. We can say it's Booth against Malone, but really Josh is the one who made the final decision. And for as upset as Malone might have been at Calvin Booth, I'm guessing he was equally as pissed off at Josh for allowing this. In theory, how many championship teams have you ever seen that essentially go to a youth movement right after winning a title? Unless, of course, you're the Florida Marlins, where you stock up on talent, win your title, and then completely gut it to try to restock your farm system, because really that was their financial model.
Yeah, the X factor on all of that, and you and I have talked about this a ton, and people need to remember it. The X factor on all of this was the change in the CBA, and that did, I think,
a major role.
A major role. And I think it bolted, and I think it kind of really bolted the franchise. It was a shot to the chest, kind of like, wake up and think about what you've got to do. And maybe they didn't move the way they needed to. Maybe the decision making wasn't what it needed to be. Maybe I don't know. I'm not in those meetings. I don't understand all of the numbers, but I think I applaud Josh Kroenke for getting this thing back on track, in a place where they can win again. Look, as enthusiastic as we were about the first 5 last year, I didn't feel like it was a championship team. They may have still been in a championship window.
Yeah.
Things could have happened that helped them to get there. I mean, after all, they were in a game 7 against the eventual champion of the NBA, so they weren't that far away. But yeah, here we are 2 years later, and you really have the feeling that you let a couple of years go by the wayside.
By the way, on a side note, I'm not going to go on a rant on this. Christian Brown signed his contract right before a deadline earlier this week.
Yeah.
Peyton Watson had the opportunity to do the same thing. It is my understanding that there was, I don't know if there's a hard offer, but Peyton Watson was not getting the type of money that they were discussing. He wanted more. I've had enough of Peyton Watson. If he never steps on the floor again, I'm cool with it. This guy thinks he's a really good player, and he's really not. Last night was a good example. No impact, and specifically on the offensive end. I'm glad he got his chance to be in commercials with Nikola Jokic, but to me, there is just something about this guy where he thinks he is better than he is. He barely played in college. Barely played in college. The right frame to be a really good defensive player, and his offensive game, he looks lost out there sometimes. Put the ball in his hands, and suddenly it's like throwing sand in the gears.
I think I'm probably in a better place with him than you are. I appreciate where you are.
What do you like about his game offensively? Does he have a good handle? Does he have a good shot? Does he space the floor? What does he do?
He can score. He doesn't score like a top end scorer, but he can score on occasion. I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You are. That's fair. I respect it. I'm not sure that I'm quite there yet. He is I think I hope that he's a malleable piece that you can continue to form. I would hope. I will say this. I agree with you on this much. I would have hoped that he would have been further along last year. So I need to see progress pretty quickly from him. He's still a very young player.
What's really young?
What, he's 22 years old.
He's 23, and this is his fourth year in the league.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. That's what you call him. Call him what he is. He's a veteran. He's in his fourth year, and he's 23. Just because he came out early doesn't mean he's young by NBA standards.
He's got a lot of tread on the tire, I think. I mean, I
think he has a lot of tread or a little bit of tread?
I think he's got a lot of tread left on his tire. Okay. I mean, I see no reason to part ways with him.
At the end of the season, if he plays like this?
Okay. Well, that's different.
No, you're not going to cut him, clearly. I'm just saying I don't see the upside in this guy.
Okay, fair enough. I'm a little further behind. But that's where we'll go. That's where we'll end up.
Coming up after the break, Bo Nix came up with an idea that could radically change what we see on Sunday with the offense. What was his idea? What made the light bulb go off in his head? We'll discuss it next.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you got to try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of October 24th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, phenomenal promotions, great food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
And welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Leaders come up with good ideas. Bo Nix is a leader on the team, so he has an idea to help the offense. And the idea is this. The entire offense watches game film together. They still do it in position groups, but the entire team watches it together. this will be done moving forward, and it started right after the Broncos game against the Giants. How much do you think something like this could help?
I think anything is worth trying when you're trying to find something that you've had problems locating. So why not, right? Give it a shot. And at the very least, this is a thing that is, relationship building, all for one for all, but you puts everybody in the same place, maybe gives them platforms to communicate. I mean, I don't know how that level of communication works in those types of meetings and how much give and take there is, but that kind of flexibility to me seems to be a good thing. How it all works remains to be seen. But I think to the larger point here, Eric, and your notes were good on this morning, that it's just another indication of who Bo Nix is, the responsibility that he feels and takes on without any hesitation to try to move his team forward. I think that there is great respect for the way that he goes about his business in the veteran corners of this locker room, and that is huge. Now, will it pay dividends? I mean, we'll wait and see. But in the long run, this is a great place to be for Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Results will obviously be the ultimate indicator, but man, we've talked about it from the time that we started seeing Bo Nix. He just gets it. He just seems to understand what the right thing to do is, and I applaud him for it.
This is not a knock with what I'm about to say on any other sport, but the NFL, its players are a slave to the schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
45 minutes weights, 30 minutes breakdown tape position groups, 25 minutes doing this, and you have horns going, at least outside at practice, that you are going to be on time. It's a great idea by Bo Nix to do this. And oh, by the way, if for some reason this key unlocks the door to this offense, Bo Nix, he is already considered a leader. He will be revered for this idea.
Yep.
But I digress. Sean Payton is not going to change, at least I don't think he would, nor would I if I'm him. He is not going to change his daily routine for his players.
No.
So if he's not going to change the daily routine, like 45 minutes in the weight room, well, we'll cut it back to 40. And then, time for position groups to look at film, 30 minutes, we'll cut it back to 25 minutes to keep saving time so the entire offense can watch together.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, this is like extra credits.
Right.
This is staying after school. If all of these guys are committed to it, they have committed to more time now at the facility, which tells me a lot about how good this offense truly wants to be.
Eric, I think it's an indication of something, a confirmation of something that we've already known. This football team really honestly feels like they have something here. They're 5-2. We've talked about it. It may not feel like a true 5-2 football team with all of the loose ends that they've got to get tied up. But I do think that to a man, this is a group of guys who really expects to win and want to do the things necessary to do that. They got to play better. They've got to play more consistently. We know all the things that they've got to do. They've got to play cleaner and all of those things. But here is an effort that is being made towards helping in that regard. Anything that does that to me is a good thing for a collection of guys that makes up a football team.
If you believe great defense beats great offense, we're about to find out on Sunday. This Cowboys offense is a scary looking offense.
It sure is.
Dak Prescott is having an MVP type of season. He's been sacked, by the way, 8 times.
That's it.
In 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Javonte Williams is another year removed from what could have been a catastrophic career-ending knee injury. He's at over 5 yards a carry. CeeDee Lamb is back in the lineup. He and George Pickens, arguably a top 3 wide receiver duo in the league. Jake Ferguson is by far and away the best tight end in football right now. He's already caught 51 passes with 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's done it in 7 games. No tight end in the history of the league has done that. And let's just sprinkle in for fun, the Cowboys arguably have the best offensive line in football. If the Broncos could not contain the Colts or the Giants, what makes you think that they are going to slow down or shut down the league leader in offense at over 400 yards a game that's averaging 32 points a game?
It's a very fair question, and it's a bit of a daunting question.
I have a small answer for you. If I maybe I asked it rhetorically.
Go.
It's really good the Broncos aren't playing Dallas in Dallas, because they are a considerably better offense at home than they are on the road.
Yeah, this is a 1-3 football team on the road. And their slashes are significantly different at home.
Home and road splits. Let's use a baseball term.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, right. And so,
but they're still averaging 25 points a game on the road.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Home field advantage, I think, helps greatly for the Broncos in this regard. I think having a full week to get off the road, to get out of their travel. You know, we didn't really talk about this a ton just because of the incredible way that the game finished, the way that they were really, I thought, I used the term in my notes, sleepwalking. I thought that was a sleepwalking effort, both on offense and defense, through much of the first 3 quarters by the Broncos against the Giants. I mean, you know, the defense doesn't do things like allow wide open plays in broken coverage. That's just not who this defense is. To me, I give them a mulligan in the game against the Giants just because I don't think their brains were totally engaged in the process. And the only thing that I can think of in that regard would be just the pace that they had gone with in the traveling over the last 3 weeks. So I'm hoping that this week has helped them to settle a little bit and gotten everybody in a better place to play. Look, this guy doesn't get sacked. Dak Prescott gets rid of the ball. He's hitting 71% of his passes. 71% of his passes. But you've got to figure out ways to pressure. The Broncos still are the leading pressure unit defensively in the NFL. This isn't going to be a sack game as much as it's going to be a pressure game. How and where do you bring pressure from that gets Dak Prescott a little bit off schedule? Something that alters his approach and his comfort in the pocket. I think that pressure is going to be far more important than the actual sacks this week.
You know, the old saying, iron sharpens iron.
Sure.
I really don't know how that works in the Cowboys organization, because the offense is number 1 in the league. And last I checked, there are 32 teams in the league, and the Cowboys defense is number 32. You know, we talked about heading into the Bengals game. This is a get-right game for the offense.
Yeah.
This is another potential get-right game for the offense, as the Cowboys are giving up, I believe, roughly 400 yards a game. And they're giving up 29 points a game. If there was ever a time for the Broncos offense to get back on track, you can make the case that the Bengals defense, which is awful, is better than the Cowboys defense.
Yeah. This is a really important game for the offense, and I think it's for obvious reasons for a lot in Broncos country. You know, I mean, you want to see production and all of these things. You know what I want to see? I want to see sustained drives that keeps the Cowboys offense off the field. That's something that we just haven't seen from this offense, which, by the way, leads the NFL in 3 and outs. Okay? Yeah. Yes, this offense they may be 11th overall in total yards. They may be 6th or 7th, whatever the number is in their rushing attack, but they're number 1 in 3 and outs. You got to be able to drive the ball. You've got to be able to help your defense by keeping them off the field and by eating some clock and getting points at the end of drives. That's going to be really important in this game. It's difficult for me to see the Cowboys being held down to 21 or 22 points. I mean, that's a great goal to have, but this is a team that has scored points, and they've scored points against pretty good people. So, but it's a great opportunity for the offense to find rhythm. And rhythm in this game for me is be good on first down, be productive on second down, be in short situations if you get to third down at all, and keep the sticks moving. Keep the clock running. That's a defense's best friend, is an offense that can take time off the clock, and it allows a defense to rest a little bit and to get themselves back out there and be better in down-to-down situations.
Allow me to take what you just said and sum it up in a sentence or two. The Broncos offense needs to keep the Cowboys offense off the field.
Right?
Pretty simple.
It's a big part of the game on Sunday, for me anyway, and I would imagine for Sean Payton.
How many points do you think the Broncos offense needs to score to win?
I think 27 is an absolute minimum.
Yeah.
An absolute minimum in this game. And probably in the 30 range, I would guess. But you know how this goes, Eric, right? I mean, we talk about this, and that's how it sets up. And then you see a low-scoring game, or you see a track meet. I mean, who knows? But I think on the surface, that's about where I'd be. 27 minimum.
Pat Surtain holds CeeDee Lamb to how many catches, how many yards, and any touchdowns?
I would say somewhere in the 5 range, maybe.
That's pretty.
6.
Those are pretty good numbers against Pat Surtain.
Yep.
5 or 6 catches, how many yards?
But where do you catch them? That's the key. You can't.
In your hands?
Well, you don't. I mean, you got to. You don't want to give up. The 14, 15 yard average here.
Right.
So I'm saying I'll go 5. I'll go 5 for 52, something like that. Maybe some 5 for 48. If you can keep them in that range, you win the day.
Right.
Then you've got Riley Moss on the other end, because to your point, I think that the Broncos will be playing more man-to-man in this game, because I think they have to play more man-to-man with Pickens, who is their leading receiver right now. His metrics are solid. I mean, that's a guy that you've got to battle. And Riley Moss is the perfect guy to go battle a guy like Pickens. So they've got their work cut out for them, Eric. They really do. They're hurt. I'm not going to say tremendously, because Justin Sternard has been fantastic, but they are hurt in this game by not having Dre Greenlaw to cover.
You want to pick that
Jake
up?
Ferguson. No, sorry. It's my wife calling. She's
call her
right
back
on time. Because Jake Ferguson is a problem in this football game. Jake Ferguson is a problem. And you would have liked to have had Dre Greenlaw, who is a good cover guy at inside linebacker, available for this game. He's not going to be available for this game, and that really stresses Sternard and Singleton.
I'm gonna bet the game, but only Jake Ferguson numbers. How many catches, how many yards? And I'll do it in honor of you. If I win, I will not give you anything. If I do lose, I will invoice
you'll bring your hat in your hand and say, hey.
No, it'll be an invoice.
I think that Jake Ferguson will be in the 7.
Wow.
And in the 7 range, 6 or 7. And you know what? I mean, I'm going to give him, until it's proven otherwise, I'm going to give him 10, 11 yards a catch. I mean, 8, 9, 10, 11, in that 8.
6 catches, 60 yards.
Yeah, something like that, right? Probably, maybe 63 or 4. I don't know.
Maybe
What
I'll
do you
bet
think? Am I wrong?
They have trouble covering tight ends.
I
and
mean, what would make you think that they are all of a sudden going to be able to cover a guy who has, to this point of the season, been the best tight end in the NFL?
Right. The funny thing is, if you bet on him to get 6 catches, I bet your odds aren't even that good because he's been so productive. It's kind of like if you're going to bet Saquon Barkley to score a touchdown, it's like minus 135. It's crazy bad odds.
Yeah. I mean,
not today with the way Saquon has performed, but at the beginning of the season, he's minus scoring a touchdown for Jake Ferguson. I'm not going to spend the time looking it up because we got to run and you got to get to your wife. So let's just wrap up the show. That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Make it the best possible weekend you can.